Hello and welcome to this Moneycontrol interview. We are in conversation with Amit Kalyani, the Vice Chairman and Joint MD of Bharat Forge. Thank you very much for talking to us at the World Economic Forum in Davos.
Thanks,
Amit, first day all attention is strangely on the US
Yes.
because the first day of WEF coincides with Trump's inauguration ceremony.
Yeah, it looks
You-
empty here actually.
From your perspective as a leading manufacturing giant, what will Trump's second term mean in terms of reshaping, global supply chains? What kind of opportunities will it spell for Bharat Forge?
So I think there are three ways to look at it. One is, the world is in disarray. There are a lot of flashpoints around the world causing huge uncertainty. I think President Trump has promised to resolve those issues, post haste. So there is some hope that normalcy will get restored with the Ukraine situation and hopefully with the Israeli situation as well. The second thing is, the agenda for rebuild America, make America great. There's a lot of focus on bringing manufacturing back to America and on rebuilding American infrastructure. So clearly there's going to be a lot of focus on that, especially on energy. One of the things President Trump talked about is with AI, you need huge amount of data farms and data storage, and that needs huge amount of energy. In fact, it almost needs 40 to 50% of the energy that the US currently has incrementally. So there's going to be a lot of focus on energy, and energy is one of the core sectors that creates a lot of ancillary benefits in every infrastructure related sector, which then has a cascading effect on manufacturing. And the third is, of course, the whole situation with tariffs and what is the treatment for different countries with regards to tariffs. But I think the whole focus hopefully is on getting back to growth. That's what I think the president is going to focus on, and that's what he's talked about, and while bringing down inflation. So let's see how that works out and how quickly that pans out. So we're hopeful that there should be some positive signals coming globally, and some of the economies that have really had a big hit because of geopolitical issues may start to stabilize.
Right. Talking about growth, there is concern about a slowdown in India. If you look at the recent GDP numbers, the advanced GDP estimates, you have a vantage here. Are you, seeing that pressure? What can the government do to spur growth?
So I think clearly the demand side is an issue. It's not as strong as one would want to be, but there is clear opportunity in shifting manufacturing from Europe into India. I think the governments need to focus on different sectors based on which state they're from and which state has what advantage and what raw materials or other benefits, and put a concerted effort in attracting those kind of manufacturing companies. I saw today and yesterday on online the kind of let's say advertisements and the kind of messaging that Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu are putting out. And it's clear that they know what they want, who they want to go after, and they're putting out a very strong message. And it's good to see that, because that's, that then helps people from across the world navigate India. Because while we talk about setting up plants and businesses in India, we don't set them up in India. We set them up in a Maharashtra, in a Karnataka, in a Rajasthan, and so on and so forth. And I think that ease of navigation has to be really thought through and put in place. So that's, I think, a big opportunity. And we also will increase manufacturing in India and increase our footprint in India, both for India for the future and for exports.
Right. Talking about that, Amit, take us through your investment capex plans for the year, which will be, your fastest growing vertical in recent years. You've been very bullish on defense. Take us through your plans for the year.
So on our at a group level, we will expand in almost all our businesses, and all of them we will expand in India. Currently, we finished our overseas expansions. Our steel business will expand in India as we see huge opportunity for steel-based manufacturing, and especially with our green steel being certified, the first company in Asia and in India to be certified. We're already producing and exporting green steel. So that's a big plus for us. Then on the component side, we're investing, we're setting up two new plants, fairly large plants. One which we've already announced, second one which we are hoping to discuss with Chief Minister of our state and then make an announcement after that.
So we can expect something in Maharashtra.
Yes, we would like to be in Maharashtra, but obviously we will look at what state gives us the best incentives and best opportunities, and then we will make our decision. So these 2-3 areas put together will be, at least 4,000-5,000 crores of investment over the next 2-3 years,
Right.
possibly even more.
What opportunities do you see in some of the newer segments like semiconductors? Because that's going to be a very critical component.
Yeah, so, we've always had a philosophy of backward integration. And if you look at our defense business and if you look at the automotive business, there are many areas where they intersect. And that's largely on the embedded system side. So we've been working for the last almost a year on formulating a strategy to get into some niche semiconductor businesses which have applications in a variety of sectors, right from consumer to industrial to automotive to high-end defense. And hopefully, in the next, I would say maybe month or two, we should be able to make an announcement after for that, because that's something that we see a huge opportunity and something that India needs to have in India.
Right.
Those are not things that you can import from a
This
safety.
will be through the PLI that the government has.
It will be through the PLI. I mean, we are talking to the government for this, but it's something which is a little unique because we don't want to do the large, semiconductor play, which already there are enough people in. We want to do something again which is niche, but can be a global niche.
Great. Have you finalized plans on where this will come up? How
No,
much you
not
will
yet.
set aside in terms of investment?
So we have worked that out. I don't want to put any numbers right now because we want to finish our discussions with the government and then the various states and then figure out where we put this.
Right. Amit, you've also been very vocal on India's EV battery strategy. I think you said at a forum recently that we shouldn't go the China way. If you can tell us what will work for India, because we spoke to Amitabh Kant recently and he was pretty disappointed at how the battery PLI, still hasn't taken off in a big way. What can we do to be more self-reliant when it comes to EV batteries?
So my whole concern around EV batteries is that if you look at the rare earth elements that go into batteries, it's not lithium. Lithium is the most abundantly available, but they have cadmium, you have cobalt, you have some other minerals like nickel and other things. Nickel and lithium are the only two which are prevalent everywhere or largely prevalent in many places. But if you look at some of the more like cadmium, etc., it is largely controlled more than 80% by China. Both, if not the mining, then the processing. And these are very dirty processing industries. They have a lot of chemicals used. There's a lot of effluent that comes out. And these are very hazardous kind of industries. But unfortunately, today we can't make a cell without it. So the problem is, can you rely on a source of energy which is controlled by one country at one level? If you look at petroleum, although we're an importer, there are 34 major producers of petroleum around the world. So you have multiple choices. But when it comes to this, at some point in time, there is an issue where, the taps could close. For example, if you look at today the electronics manufacturing supply chain in India, there is a throttling of the supply chain from China because they don't like the idea that Chinese suppliers are helping Indian companies grow and move business out of China. So these are the kind of, let's say, issues that we will have to deal with. And unless we have a full strategy for that, just to set up a plant to make batteries without securing all the raw materials is going to be difficult.
Right. But what can we do to secure?
We can do many things. I mean, there is a lot of work being done on hydrogen. Sodium batteries, there's a lot of work being done. Quite frankly, in a country where we are still building our basic infrastructure, whether it's our electric grid, our energy generation, our roads. Why not electrify the roads? I mean, you could have like not a tram exactly, but you could have a catenary in a road, and through inductive or whatever, you could cars and buses can run. The point is that if you reduce the amount of battery needed in a car, you reduce the cost, and yes, you will have to make that much more of an infrastructure spend upfront, but then that's amortized over a longer period of time, and there's less risk, because to electrify a road you need copper.
Right.
You don't need, and copper we have abundant, whereas you don't have those other issues. I'm just giving an idea.
Right.
I mean, you could do that in crowded areas. You could in the cities. You could definitely do that. But I think India has to find an Indian solution, because everybody who's only followed the China strategy is playing into their hands, because they have, over the last 20 years, built an almost unassailable position. They built a moat around the electric vehicle infrastructure, the whole ecosystem, and it's going to be very difficult to break that. I mean, who else makes batteries? It's China, Japan, and Korea.
Yeah. Yeah. Amit, in terms of the way you're using AI, there's a lot of excitement around digital twin and how it can reshape manufacturing. How are you deploying this?
So we're doing a lot of very interesting things using AI. One is our entire production planning. How do you optimize uptime? How do you optimize utilization of assets? How do you use AI to do programming? Our kind of programming is not coding; it's design engineering, etc. Optimization. A lot of work on reducing waste, eliminating waste, and optimizing the whole process flow in the plant, and increasing throughput. So I would say the focus is on increasing throughput, reducing costs, and reducing inventory. Those are the three areas where we're focusing on using AI.
Great. Finally, we are just days away from the budget. Any expectations? Or a wish list?
I think we need something that really spurs investment. I think capital formation is not at the level that you need to grow this economy at 7-8%. And that has to happen. So the budget has to create all these PLIs for batteries and semiconductors, they will show results 10 years from now. Okay? We need something that spurs the economy in 3 months and 6 months, not 10 years from now.
Great.
And for those products, largely the machines are all imported. The capex is all imported. So we need something that is going to put capex in the ground in India.
Great. On that note, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.